The United States is urging Iran to cease the sale of armed drones to Russia as part of discussions that encompass a broader unwritten understanding aiming to de-escalate tensions and address an ongoing nuclear crisis. During the year, the Biden administration has conveyed this concern to the Iranians through indirect talks that have taken place in Qatar and Oman, as revealed by sources familiar with the matter. Simultaneously, these discussions have been occurring alongside negotiations for a prisoner exchange deal, which led to the relocation of 4 Iranian-US citizens from prison to house arrest last week. Within these talks, the U.S. is pressing Iran to halt the provision of drones, including spare parts, to Russia, a request that pertains to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine where Moscow is utilizing these drones. Despite Tehran's official denial, an Iranian official and another individual with insight into the negotiations acknowledged that Iran's drones are involved in the Ukraine conflict and that Iran has asked Moscow to refrain from deploying them. In this context, the U.S. seeks more concrete steps from Iran to address this issue, illustrating Washington's commitment to the broader objective of de-escalation and containment. This endeavor to secure a successful prisoner exchange and other informal agreements signifies a potential breakthrough for U.S. President Joe Biden in his dealings with Iran, marking over 2 years of on-and-off indirect negotiations. Throughout these negotiations, President Biden has sought to revive the 2015 nuclear agreement signed between Iran and world powers, while also aiming to reduce tensions in the Middle East. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken emphasized on Tuesday that the U.S. is employing a strategy that encompasses deterrence, pressure, and diplomacy to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. Blinken also expressed concerns about Iran's provision of drones to Russia for their involvement in the war against Ukraine, emphasizing the need for Iran to de-escalate and create room for future diplomacy. The discussions in Qatar and Oman are envisaged to yield de-escalatory measures for both sides, including Iran's commitment not to enrich uranium beyond 60% purity and improving its collaboration with the International Atomic Energy Agency. In return, the U.S. is considering refraining from imposing new sanctions in certain areas, excluding those related to human rights, and adopting a less stringent approach to existing sanctions on oil sales. Notably, the Islamic Republic desires the U.S. to engage with European allies in alleviating pressure on Iran, given the impact of U.S. sanctions on its economy following the withdrawal of the U.S. from the 2015 nuclear accord under former President Donald Trump. An additional concern for Iran revolves around the potential for European signatories to reintroduce sanctions following the expiration of clauses in the nuclear accord that restrict Iran's ballistic missile program. While the U.S. and Iran have reached agreements on several fronts, discussions continue in Qatar and Oman, with a particular emphasis on addressing the issue of Iran's drone sales to Russia. Remember to subscribe.